You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big
Oh,
guy.
stop it.
Quite a scene this week in a Senate hearing as the Teamsters president and a senator from Oklahoma challenged each other to a fight. The same day Kevin McCarthy was accused of elbowing a fellow Republican lawmaker. Tensions really running high in Washington in these sharply divided times. Let's talk about it now with our panel, our always civil panel for the most part, right? Here with us in studio today, former State Party Chair Robin Winston from the Indiana Democrats, former GOP lawmaker Mike Murphy, Purdue political science professor Dr. Martin Sweet, and UIndy political science professor Dr. Laura Wilson. So Laura, I'll start with you. Congress managed to avoid a government shutdown this week, but wow, the scene of that near fight in Washington unfortunately paints quite a picture of modern American politics.
It does, and there are a lot of great historical examples of things like this happening. So sometimes I think, is this really what we've come to? It might be what we always have been. But I think more than talking about like our cultural norms or what Congress's integrity is or something like that, I think those are bad individuals. That's bad character. It's perfectly fine to disagree about politics, but you don't make it personal. You certainly don't make it physical. And I have a 4-year-old, and he's learning about that. I think members of Congress should know and abide by that same difference.
Martin, this week Mitt Romney said, I don't think President Trump created something that wasn't there in the population, but he said he felt he brought something out that had been held behind norms that's now out in the open, coarsening our debates and our dialogue. Is that how you see it?
Well, I think like Laura sort of intimated, historically we've seen sort of this stuff before, but the stakes were sort of bigger, right? We had a caning on the Senate floor over slavery. We had Federalists, Anti-Federalists throwing each other in jail on with the Alien and Seditious Libel Act at the formation of our country. These guys are just dumber than we've ever seen before, right? The actions aren't any different, but the stakes are much lower. You know, an MMA fighter senator against a union boss. This isn't exactly, you know, world history type stuff.
An odd scene there for sure. Mike, meantime, I want to turn to the campaign trail here in Indiana. We're not seeing physical fights, but the gloves are certainly off in this primary here for the next election cycle. And we saw quite a back and forth this past week between Mike Braun and Eric Doden on this issue of qualified immunity, where Braun, even though he may be the front runner endorsed by President Trump, could potentially on this issue be vulnerable amongst some GOP primary voters. What do you make of all this?
I agree. Actually, I connect the two. The MMA guy in the Senate and people here in Indiana coming up with nicknames for each other. Right? Desperate Doden. Doesn't it sound like something Trump would say? I mean, it's the dumbing down of politics. How does an MMA guy make it into the U.S. Senate in the first place? But when you get back to Indiana, every one of these candidates on the Republican side has a weakness. Whether it's Doden, who came in 4th place in a Fort Wayne mayoral primary in 2011, now he thinks he should be governor. It's Chambers trying to take 100 million gallons of water from the Wabash River watershed away from the people. And what he's doing there is creating 1 or 2 big winners and a whole watershed full of losers. So you just go on and on. You know, Curtis Hill, nobody takes him seriously. He's still an alleged sex offender, even though he wasn't actually prosecuted. And the biggest weakness Suzanne Crouch has is that she's a woman, because 4 women in a row have been patted on the head by the Republican Party and said, no, you can't be a governor. You can be Secretary of State, but you can't be governor. And she's going to challenge that. And that's where her biggest weakness and her biggest strength is, too.
We'll see how this primary shakes out. Robin, how do you see all of this from across the aisle?
Well, first off, it'll be interesting to see where they line up in support of Doug Carter on permit. I mean, you know, are they, when it comes to law enforcement?
Permitless carry, which
right.
went into
I mean, because here's the sitting head of the state police saying that he disagrees with something that the Republican legislature approved. So let's see where those candidates for governor come down on that as far as caring about our men and women who wear the uniform. As far as on our side, it's petition time, Dan. You still got to get this archaic system of petitions done, and Jennifer McCormick is doing that. I believe she'll be unopposed for the nomination. By virtue of going out and getting petitions, you're expanding your base of grassroots. I do agree with Mike. The hidden gem on their side might be Suzanne Crouch, because you're seeing Nikki Haley's numbers go up, And I think that's a reflection of women in the Republican Party not buying into the hard rhetoric of the males that are their leaders.
Laura, this is certainly going to be a real fight for the nomination, and as we saw this week, it's already getting tense.
Oh, it is, and I think you see good diversity amongst the candidates. We talk about Suzanne Crouch. I think the winner in this debate in terms of qualified immunity could actually be Curtis Hill if he got his name out there, he got the message out there more, because he has all these tax cuts, taking 16 cents off gasoline tax. Even though it was low in October in terms of gas costs, I think people would care about that if they saw him as a real serious candidate, and he has his bulk of supporters, but whether or not it's enough. We're talking about 5 candidates for the Republican, at least 1 strong candidate for Democrats, and we're still months away from the primary. It's obviously a really exciting race.
Martin, how do you see this? Senator Braun with something of a target on his back now that he's been nominated, or endorsed, I should say, by former President Trump?
Right, and this issue of qualified immunity has sort of this crossover between sort of the left wing, really the Democratic Party, and then sort of effectively the libertarian wing, or sort of this anti-establishment wing in the Republican Party, which is really where Braun has sort of cut his teeth, and I think that's where that overlap is. It'll be interesting to see how he navigates that. I'm not sure that's something that Trump would himself agree with, and that's the kind of thing you could see Trump turn his back on Braun at some point if the heat gets too hot.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Mike, meantime, lawmakers are back at the State House Tuesday for Organization Day. What kind of a session will we see this coming year? Kind of a lame duck session in some respects. In between budget years, it's the governor's last year in office. Are you expecting much out of the State House this year?
I'm expecting very little. The biggest news may be it could be historically the shortest session in Indiana history. I mean, they're talking about getting out of there at the end of February.
State House reporters may be okay with that.
And I don't think they're going back in until January 15th, roughly.
Of the following year.
It's going to be very, very short. They have no major agenda. Just get through it. Let's go campaign.
Robin, how do you see this? What are you hoping to see from state lawmakers in the coming months?
They got to address the gas tax tied to EV chargers and things around the state. I mean, now finally the flags are going up saying, nobody thought about a gas tax on these vehicles. What are we going to do? That's got to be addressed. Also, you're sitting on a largesse in money in the surplus. I think that we ought to spend more on social service programs. Child care is a glaring need in this state, and it doesn't need just to be looked over as a pilot program in 4 or 5 counties. We need to try to do this more aggressively statewide.
Feels like we'll certainly hear a lot of proposals, maybe from these candidates for governor, that lawmakers might just kind of think about this year and maybe act on in the future. We'll see how it goes. Coming up next, how Indiana's colleges and universities are using new partnerships with major employers to attract more students to campus. Stick around, we'll be right back.